Namaste, guys. Christian Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this Transformation Sunday lecture, healing, or meditation and healing on Thursday. Whoop, whoop. One day before the full moon. Good to see everyone. Before we begin, let us invoke. Place your hands on your heart. Be aware of your heart. Be aware of your crown. Be aware of your heart and your crown together. To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, respect and beloved teacher, Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui, Lord Mahaguru Jamiling, to Lord Buddha Kuan Yin, to Lord Ganesh, to Holy Master Count Saint Germain, to all the holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, to the healing angels, healing ministers, to our divine selves or higher souls, we humbly invoke for your divine light, love, and power, for your divine help, guidance, and protection, for your soothing, healing energies on all levels. We thank you, Lord God. We thank you all with gratitude, respect, and love. So be it, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Welcome, everybody, to another beautiful, hopefully beautiful experience, becoming a better person, transforming into a better person. And as you guys know, we created the Inner Transformation membership to help people transform. And we're always about meeting you where you're at and then lovingly and persistently and consistently nudging you closer and closer and closer to experiencing oneness with your higher self and then ultimately oneness with God. Now, are you going to reach God realization through these classes? Most likely not, because I'm not God realized. So it's going to be kind of hard for me to carve out the path for you, so to speak. But we absolutely can help move you forward and transform yourself and give your higher soul a greater control over the lower vehicles. And so I like to ask you guys, hey, what would you like in the Q&A? What kind of topic would you like in the lecture portion? And what came up today would be the topic of service, which is obviously is super duper duper important. It's one of those things that we can talk about over and over and over again, because it goes back to the tenet of Master Choa Kok Sui of know, remember, practice, master. So we may hear something over and over and over again, but we still are not understanding the thing that is being told to us, right? So that's the remembering portion. So somebody can tell you a technique and you only remember half of it or a third of it or a quarter of it or none of it, right? I never remember hearing that. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard people who have been in pranic healing for years and they've taken this class and reviewed it and this class and reviewed it. And they go, every time I review it, I go, there's no way that was said the first time I took the class. And then typically it's an instructor that's been around for a while and they go, no, that's in the instructor manual. That's taught every single time we teach basic, advanced psychotherapy, etc. There might be a difference in stories and personal experiences that people have had, but the instruction is the same because there's actually a manual that the instructors are taught to follow, for lack of a better way of saying verbatim. It's not verbatim, but there are certain parts that are read verbatim. Why? Because the teacher has empowered those lines with energy. So, right, we're a school of energy, and as the person's teaching and using the words of the teacher and the syntax of the teacher, energy of the teacher is flowing through the instructor and going into the students, transforming them, giving them more light, right? So service is something that we can continually talk about again and again and again and again and again. And I look at my own life and I've had ups and downs with service. Sometimes I've been all in doing hours and hours and hours of service every single week. And then other times there's weeks, sometimes months, not so much months, but sometimes weeks where I do minimal service, right? Minimal service. And my ex, a former, still a pranic healer and Arhatic yogi that now lives in the Philippines, she would do 30 hours a week of service, 30 hours a week of service outside of her normal job, right? Because it's just part of what she did. It was part of her cultural upbringing, and it was part of her family. Her family was very, very service orientated, but that gave her a lot of good karma, right? Things were not so difficult for her because she was always being of service, being of service, being of service. So that's something that we can talk about ad nauseum. And I was speaking with someone this past week that you doing your spiritual practice, right? If you're a pranic healer, you do your twin hearts meditation. If you're an Arhatic yogi, you do your twin hearts meditation and higher practices and higher meditations. And that is actually a form of service, right? You're blessing and healing Mother Earth and all sentient beings. You're releasing the excess energies. But it's also helpful to do service on the different planes, right? So we talked about service through blessing and healing. You got a huge aura. So you bless the earth, your aura expands from 2 to 4 inches to 35 to 50 feet. So you have all this excess energy. What do you do with it? Aha, I can bless my family to release the excess energies. I can bless my friends. I can bless projects that I'm working on. I can bless other people's projects that I'm working on. I can also do healing, right? So you have a huge aura, huge chakras. What are you going to do with the energy? Because if you don't use it, the interesting thing is it's not if you don't use it, you lose it. It's more of like if you don't use it, you're congested by it, right? Because if you start to meditate day after day, week after week, and you start noticing that you're nodding off more often, or maybe you start becoming agitated in your meditations, it's because you're generating too much energy and you're not releasing enough. And the higher practices of Arhatic yoga, the higher meditations in Arhatic yoga, sometimes you only need to meditate once a month, once every couple months. If you're not actively being an instrument of goodwill and the will to do good, you're not actively being of service, because you generate so much energy so quickly that it takes weeks or months to have that energy go through your system before you get congested. So the masters meditate more often. Why? Because they're serving and feeding tens of thousands, in some cases, hundreds of thousands of people around the world, right? So the energy is being consumed. But if you're just like, I'm just meditating for me, I'm meditating for my own inner peace, happiness, and joy. It's good, but it's not the fastest way to evolve. And Grandmaster Choa Kuk says, service and meditation are two of the fastest ways to evolve. Service and meditation. So you meditate and then you be of service. Okay. So you have the opportunity of being service through spiritually blessing and healing others. You also have the opportunity to be of service in meditating, right? That's a form of service. And then you have an opportunity of sharing your knowledge and expertise. Look, it's taken you what? 5, 10, 15, 20 or more years to gain your level of understanding and expertise in something. Don't you think that's a valuable commodity to somebody else, right? That you can tell people where to step and where not to step in the landmine field of that area of expertise. So that is something that you can use as service to alleviate the suffering of others. So one of the things I like to share is go on Facebook live streams. I used to do Periscope live streams and just share some of my experiences. And I wrote an article many years ago about my first 10 years as an Arhatic yogi and the lessons I've learned from it. And then that actually several Arhatic yogis who've been longtime practitioners and instructors reached out to me, thanking me for that article because it gave them a deeper appreciation and understanding of their practice, right? So that's a form of service. So I was using my mental body and explaining concepts, dumbing things down, making it digestible for the masses, right? Which to me, it's easy. And so I kind of think it's easy for everybody. But as I look and understand others, I realize that that's not the easiest thing. So, which is really cool because it's given me a new sense of compassion, because when I see people who are not good at communication, but I see them communicating anyways, I have like this respect and admiration for them that I wouldn't have had earlier, because I'm like, well, yeah, it's easy to express your ideas. It's easy to go from your head out your mouth. No problem. Easy peasy, right? I realize that's not the case for most people. So those people that had to like really work at it and really push through the inner resistance or the inadequacies they had in communication, it's admirable, right? And so their soul is developing through that, a form of service. So your sacrifice to develop that ability to communicate ideas to others, to alleviate their suffering, that's a form of service, sacrificial love. And then you also have your emotional service. So when you're connecting with people, and there are different practices that you can do in our Arhatic yoga and higher classes, that you can help people's emotional bodies. You can soothe their pain, their sorrow and suffering. You can help transform and transmute the pains that they're experiencing, right? If you have a big, bright aura and lots of energy passing through that aura, you being in the presence of other people and you consciously tapping into love, sweetness, joy, bliss, enthusiasm, you being aware of those energies within you awakens the energies, those energies within other people. If that person's stressed out and you're radiating love, it transforms and transmutes their stress into love, into peace, into happiness. So that's great service that you can do for other people, right? One of the, if I'm not mistaken, it was Madame Blavatsky. I think it was also Alice Bailey too, would go through the newspapers way back in the day, like the early part of the 20th century and the 19th century, and they would see people who were having difficulties. So-and-so was having these challenges, financial challenges, health challenges, what have you. And they would bless these people using their, if I remember correctly, their yogic powers is how it was termed then, right? Using their yogic powers. But basically it's called thought power. They have thoughts. Their thoughts have a tremendous amount of energy behind them. And then they're directing those thoughts to the benefit of another person. So they're using thought power and then they're stuffing with positive emotions. So that's another way of being of service to others, using your emotional body to make people feel good, to make people feel acknowledged, validated, loved, right? And then also helping people physically, right? So one of the most difficult things for me to do is moving. I don't like moving. I've moved, I think 37 times in my life. I think it's over 37 times in my life at this point. That's a lot of moving and it's very difficult and very challenging. And I remember the last couple times I did moving, I hired a company to do it. And I cannot tell you how worth it was to me. I was like, this is wonderful. They even broke a couple of things. And I think they stole a set of dishes or whatever, but I was like, it was still worth it. In spite of them breaking a couple of things and I think stealing something, it was still worth it because I didn't have to be there going through all the heavy moving and transferring it from the storage unit or from the apartment into the van and then back to the storage unit and or apartment. And then just that whole thing. Right. So that's a form of service, helping people on the physical plane, doing things for them, running errands for them, right? Something that and I thought I've been thinking about this on and off for years and years and years and years. So some of you may not know that in the class Kriya Shakti by Grandmaster Choa Koksui, there's something called the principle of abundance, right? The principle of abundance. And that principle is connected to tithing and service, right? If you want to have more energy, be of service. If you want to get out of depression, be of service. If you want to make more money, give money, right? Tithing. So you have the two things, tithing and service. And I remember that my oldest brother was having lots and lots of difficulties in life, health difficulties, emotional difficulties, relationship difficulties, financial difficulties, all these different kinds of difficulties. And something fascinating happened. It would have been in the mid 90s that my oldest brother was put into a position that he thought was tough luck, but it was actually in a position where he could consistently help out our father run errands. So my father suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder, and there would be times for months he would not leave the house. He would even hire people. He would even hire a haircut person to come by and cut his hair because I remember he was saying, I would see him in a Skype or Zoom wasn't around, but I would see him in Skype or I would talk to him on the phone and, my brothers would send me pictures or what have you when I was traveling and his hair would be all crazy. And I'd be like, Dad, when are you getting a haircut? Right? This is a former Marine, clean cut, bed's always made. Dad, when are you going to get a haircut? And he goes, well, I just haven't got up the courage to get a haircut. I go, what do you mean the courage to get a haircut? He goes, well, I got to get in the car and then, drive and I got to, find a place to park. And it's so looking back, even as I'm saying this to you, looking back, it's like the reason everything was so difficult for my father is because everything that was teeny tiny for most ordinary people were these Herculean mountains in front of my father. So like getting out of the house, huge task, right? Getting into the car, huge task. Driving up to the driveway, huge task. Driving 5 miles down the road to go to the barbershop, huge task. Finding a place to park the car, huge task. So all of these things of getting a haircut that would be completely normal, if not enjoyable for ordinary people, was this giant thing for my father. It was boulder after boulder after boulder, or dare I say mountain after mountain after mountain. So he would be overwhelmed before he even began. So he would hire people to come by the house and cut his hair, right? But interestingly enough, he's providing value to other people, right? So rather than not getting his hair cut, he's willing to pay somebody to go out of their way to go from their barbershop, take their tools, get in their car, and then drive and do a haircut there. And he would always be very generous. My father was a very, very good tipper. As long as I've known him, he was a very generous tipper. Always. In some ways, I would say overly generous with his tipping, but it was partly out of guilt, partly out of shame, and partly out of gratitude for the services that other people were providing, even if they didn't provide very good service. So physically being there for other people, physically running errands, like my brother, my oldest brother, on and off for 20 years, was taking care of my father. And at the time that he was taking care of my father, running errands, taking him to doctor's appointments, taking him to get his haircut, what else? Taking him to look into his veterans benefits because he was 100% disabled veteran from Vietnam. My brother was using up his time to be of service to our father, which was generating good karma for him, which means he was taken care of because he always had a roof over his head when he had difficult times. He always had food in the fridge when he was having difficult times. He always had transportation when transportation wasn't available to him. So he would borrow my dad's car. So isn't it interesting that by him being of service to our father, taking care of our father, he was taken care of, right? So he was physically providing for my father. And then the last one, financial, right? Being of financial service. So you earn money through your time, through your effort, right? You earn money and then you go, okay, what do I want to do with this money? I want to direct it to this charity, that charity, this charity, that charity. And that is a form of service / prosperity energy that's coming back to you, right? So think about the good karma that's being generated by people that are philanthropists that give away millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, even billions of dollars. Think about the good karma that they're generating, right? That will come back to them lifetime after lifetime after lifetime if they continue to be generous, if they continue to practice the virtues, right? Just because I had a conversation with my mentor about this a couple months ago, just because someone's a billionaire doesn't mean they're a good person, right? But if you look on social media, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, but more so Instagram, it's people showing these extravagant lifestyles going, whoa, that's so amazing. I wish I had something like that in my life. And that person must be so much better than me. Not true. They just had a specialized skill that they developed over lifetimes, and then they're exploiting that skill in the marketplace, and they're getting compensated for that product, that service, or that idea that they're putting into the marketplace. Doesn't mean they're a better person than a Gandhi who has nothing, right? It doesn't mean they're more developed. It just means that certain parts of their chakras are more developed and their prosperity karma is greater than an ordinary person. But it's the same thing with clairvoyance, right? Just because somebody is clairvoyant doesn't necessarily mean that that person is very developed. It just means they've developed the ability to see energy, right? But if they are a good clairvoyant, meaning someone who can see clearly, not a false or fake clairvoyant, which would be it'd be a contradiction of terms, right? A fake clairvoyant wouldn't be a clairvoyant because you're not seeing clearly, right? It's like a fraud. So good clairvoyants, what have they mastered? What's one of the virtues? Accurate perception, correct expression, honesty and non-lying to oneself and to others, right? So they have they are entitled to see things clearly because they don't lie, because they don't distort truth. Now, does that mean they never lie and they never distort truth? Depends on the level of the clairvoyant, right? But their ability to see a situation clearly means they are entitled because they have allowed others or given others the opportunity to see things clearly. That's why it's super important to keep the purity of the teachings, right? So Grandmaster Choa Kok Sui kept the purity of his teachings through the books that he wrote, the CDs that he recorded, and the classes that he designed. And then we have our certified instructors that are designed to distribute or disseminate those teachings to the world. But if the teachings start getting distorted, it weakens the energy, right? Which happens in every religion, in every spiritual school. From the founder, the energy gets distorted over time, and then it's restored by that teacher coming back again in their own lineage, most likely. So don't distort teachings, because then teachings will be distorted too. So that's a disservice, right? And I learned this from Master Ko many years ago. If you don't know the answer, you say, I don't know the answer, or that's not my area of expertise, which is challenging sometimes, because here's the thing, you study so much about something. So in this case, energy healing, meditation, practical spirituality, you practice a lot. You have a lot of understanding, you have a lot of experiences. And then people that are less knowledgeable and maybe less experienced than you, they ask a question and you're like, oh, the answer's obvious. It's this, this, and this. But it can also be negative pride blinding you, because it's like, well, that's one level of truth. And is what you're saying really going to benefit that person, or is what you're saying about placating your own ego and look how smart I am and look how good I am, right? So that's something that needs to be examined, because you want to be of service. You want to be of goodwill and the will to do good, right? So goodwill is, I want to help. I want to be of value to the world, right? It's said that a disciple is of service. The disciple is of value to others, right? You're of value to others. If you're of no value, you're not a disciple, right? You're on the planet to be of service. And it's so funny, like hearing me say these things now, it's so obvious. But then if I were to say that or think about that 10 years ago, it wouldn't have been so obvious. It would have been more like an intellectual, yeah, of course, be of service. But then as you're of service more and more and more and more, things make sense. And one of the coolest things I noticed, some of you may know that when I would go to retreats many years ago, because I lacked purification and I lacked understanding, and I was really intense with my meditation practice, I was really intense of generating energy, but I wasn't very good at releasing that energy through healing and through service. When I would go to retreats, I would already be full and stuffed up with energy. And then when more energy was introduced, new wine into old wine bags, my energy bodies were full, new wine came in, and I would burst at the seams in a huge cathartic experience, which unfortunately many people got to witness over the years. And it actually happened so frequently that it became a collective thought form within pranic healing that, all right, Christians at this retreat, we know what that means. We know what's going to happen. And then that didn't help me move forward. Right? If you have a collective thought form that this guy is this way or this girl is this way, right? It makes it harder for you to move forward, because you're having to overcome the thought form that's being collectively created. So it wasn't an easy time for me. And then as I had some space and some separation, the thought form started to lose its power, and then I would go to the retreats. But what was the turning point? The turning point was when I moved to Denver, Colorado, and I went from doing my practice for myself, for my own inner peace, happiness and joy, mental clarity, sharpness, right? I started doing my practice to help other people. Then I started sitting and doing my practice and helping lots of clients. And then I started doing my practice to help feed lots of people within our meditation group and community, right? So we had 100 or more people coming every single month to different events throughout the month. So as that happened, what was I doing? I was meditating, generating lots of energy, and then using the lots of energy to heal others, or using lots of energy to do service projects within the community, using the energy to do the meditation classes. So I was having lots of energy come down, lots of energy go out. Now I was cleaner to what? Absorb more fresh energy coming in, and then that energy going out, which expanded the cup even more fresh energy coming down and expanding out. So that cycle kept going and going and going and going. So then after that happened for maybe a year and a half, then when I went to the retreats, smooth as butter. I was able to sit in my little chair, was able to do our practices, and no squirreliness, deep experiences, right? Beautiful experiences. Why? Because I was releasing all the excess energies. My bodies were super clean, super bright. So then I was open and receptive to receive the greater downpour of energies from above as that you experience at the retreat. Because a retreat is an initiation. Your soul gets a lot of light. And if you're receptive and clean, that soul energy comes down through the bodies, and you have a more illumined mental body, a more illumined emotional body, a more illumined physical body, right? And then everything is connected to you. So your finances get brighter because they're connected to you. Your relationships get brighter because they're connected to you. Your job becomes brighter because they're more connected to you, right? Clean energy. But if it's congested energy that people in situations and accounts are connected to, it's going to make it very, very difficult for you. There's actually, I'll save that story for another day. So service is super, super important. And it's recommended within Arhatic yoga to do service of 3 hours a week or more. And again, you take your pick. What kind of service do I want to be of service to? And it's something that, your heart expands. It's not something you like. If you don't want to do a feeding program for the homeless, then don't. But you're like really jacked up about helping at an animal shelter, then get after it. Sign up for an animal shelter and dedicate 3 hours a week, 4 hours a week, 5 hours a week, right? If you're not an animal person or pet person, then how can I tutor children? How can I help out the elderly? Find your niche. People with special needs, right? People who are physically disabled, mentally disabled, right? You can help out those people. Suicide hotline, right? If I'm ever low in energy and I'm ever depressed, I don't want to be in a position where I take my own life. So what can I do to generate the good karma? I'll help other people not take their own life. I'll help inspire and uplift other people and pull them out of their depression, which entitles me to not go down and be depressed, which entitles me to be more happy, more fulfilled most of the time. Because you guys have to understand something. If you can sit and meditate and have inner peace, that's a manifestation of prosperity karma and good karma. Because there are people who are not entitled to that. There are people who, even though they're taught by great teachers, even though they're taught great systems, they don't experience the benefits of those systems because they're not karmically entitled, right? So they'll sit and they'll try to meditate, but their physical body will keep shifting around, right? Or they'll sit and they'll try to meditate and they have no inner peace. They'll sit and they'll meditate and all they're thinking about is the person they're angry at, right? So if you never want to have inner peace, meditate on the person that you're angry at. So if you're able to sit, be still, be aware, and have an expansion of consciousness and feel stillness, even if it's a teeny tiny bit for a small amount of time, that's still a manifestation of your good karma. And you should be grateful for that versus being a person who doesn't have those experiences. Because for lack of a better way of saying it, we don't really know what's going on with a person who's meditating with their eyes closed. Right? So we might be seeing somebody like this, very stoic, upright posture, eyes closed, and all they're doing the whole time is thinking, and they're miserable and they're beating themselves up. And then you could see another person that's kind of like casually sitting there and they're in complete ecstatic bliss and they are experiencing a high degree of oneness with their higher soul, right? So we don't really know just by looking at somebody. We make the assumption that, oh, well, that person's sitting there with their eyes closed and they're not moving. They must be experiencing bliss. No, you have to be karmically entitled to experience bliss. So, how do you get karmically entitled to experience bliss? Help other people, be of service to others. Also, when you raise your hand to the great ones, like high five, when you raise your hands to the great ones and say, I want to be an instrument of goodwill and the will to do good, then they say, okay, here's the energy. Here's the blessings. Here's the people. Here's the network. Here's the clients. Here's the patients. Here's the collaboration partners. Here's the whatever it is that you need, because they're always providing the energy. But if we don't raise our hands, what does that say? We're not open and receptive to receiving the energy. We're waiting for the what if scenarios, or we're waiting for, well, when this happens, then I'll be ready to be of service. But it doesn't work that way. Like, you can give, if you're a farmer, right? If you're a farmer and you're planting seeds, you can give every rational, logical reason on the planet why you're not going to, why you can't or won't plant that seed, right? Why you can't or won't plant that seed. But the end result is you still have no harvest. So you're like, I can't plant the seed because it's not the right time in my life. I can't plant the seed because it's not the right time to plant the seed. I can't plant the seed because people will judge me. I can't plant the seed because I'm not good enough. I can't plant the seed, whatever it is, right? I can't plant the seed of goodness, of service in the world. The end result is, no matter what, no fruit. Your reason and rationality doesn't matter. It's like the farmer that says, well, I need all these reasons as to why I can't plant the seed. Well, the fruit is still fruitless. There's still nothing to get. But if you say, all right, I may not be the smartest person, here's a seed. I may not have the most amount of people in my network, here's a seed. I might not have all the money and resources to make this happen, but here's a seed. I'm going to talk to one person. I'm going to talk to 10 people. I'm going to raise, instead of, I'd like to raise $1 million for this charity, but I'm going to raise $10 for this charity. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That is planting seed, planting seed, planting seed, which you will over time harvest that. Why do we harvest the fruit? Because it's what we use to pay off our negative karma. That's how we evolve. That's how we get out of the wheel of life and death, or the wheel of karma, right? So if you're not planting seeds and you're not reaping a harvest, what do you use to pay off your karmic debt? You have to eventually, right? So what are you going to use? Where's your currency coming from? If you're not planting anything, you're not reaping a harvest, you have nothing to take, right? It's like you want to go to the bank and you want to take out $1,000 from the ATM, but you haven't put any money into the bank. Therefore, you can't take any money out of the ATM. Same way karmically. As one of the pranic healing senior practitioners says, karma is linear, not complicated, right? It's linear. You plant this, you get this, right? You want money, you plant money. You want happiness, you plant happiness. You want sadness, plant sadness. You want depression, plant depression. Anthony Robbins puts it another way. Your state, whatever your state is, state of depression, state of fear, state of courage, state of happiness, state of gratitude, state of anger, whatever your state is, it's based on your physiology. What is your body looking like? A depressed person takes on a certain physiology. A confident person takes on a different physiology. So what's your physiology? And then what's your focus? So if you're focusing on things that make you sad, you'll be sad. If you focus on things that make you happy, you'll be happy. What you meditate on, you become, right? So your physiology plus your focus equals your state. So I covered a lot, but simply put, meditation and service is one of the fastest ways to achieve illumination. If you want to go higher, faster, you have to serve, right? Your meditation practice will reach a point that you become so full, so stuffed that you're either A, going to have Kundalini syndrome, which is not a pleasant experience, or B, you're going to stop your practice entirely, or C, you are going to have no desire to continue your practice. That's one of the indicators that if you're not interested in meditating, it's because you're full. You're like, I can't handle any more of this. I'm done. But as you start serving, the energy within your system starts being used and consumed by others, right? And then what happens? You have a vacuum, you have a void, which creates a vacuum. And what fills the vacuum? Energy of the higher soul. So as you keep giving, the energy is passing through you. What do you think we do in Twin Hearts? Bless. Energy passes through us, goes to the earth, passes through us, goes to the earth, passes through us, goes to the earth. Okay. So very, very important to do service. Cannot recommend it enough. And as it was said by one of the masters in pranic healing, looking at the Arhatic yoga manual, yeah, it says 3 hours of service minimum. When you become more advanced, it's much, much more service. I was like, much, much more service? How much more? Okay. So when you become more advanced, you will be a greater instrument of goodwill and the will to do good, and your service hours will increase. And that's good, right? You're growing up, you're maturing, you're able to be of value to other people. If you can't get your own life together, how valuable are you going to be for others? Jordan Peterson, the clinical psychologist from the University of Toronto, said in his books, the 12 rules to life, he says, make your bed. What does he mean by making your bed? He means take care of your little world, get stability and predictability in your little world. Then you can start working on the bigger problems of climate change and social inequities and monetary inequities or whatever, right? The more global issues. But if you don't have the awareness, understanding, and the power to influence your immediate environment, how influential are you going to be with bigger issues, right? It's a really fascinating thought experiment to look into that. So be an example, be a product of the product, right? So you do your meditation practices regularly for yourself, keeping yourself clean, bright. And then you're like, after you start feeling a certain level of bliss, what starts happening? The heart becomes more activated, more light is radiating through the heart. And then it goes, I feel that person's pain. What can I do to help? But prior, what was it about? The heart wasn't very activated. The solar plexus was more activated. The chakra of me, myself, and I. You're not even aware of others, right? Not even aware of others. It's like, I need to get paid. I need to get a nicer car. I need to get a nicer house. I need to have a bigger, fatter bank account so I can buy more things, right? Me, right? But then as this starts getting under control, good self-esteem starts kicking in and becoming developed, then the heart expands. And then you start going, I need to take care of my mom. I need to take care of my dad. I need to take care of my siblings. I need to be more kind to my spouse. Because you feel their pain. And then when the heart becomes activated, what happens next? The crown becomes activated. And then what's that? Love of God, love of all. So you want to be of service and help others who you'll never meet in this lifetime, right? Oneness, right? The crown chakra is connected to oneness, but you can't get to oneness without first activating the heart. How can you say you love God, who you cannot see, who has no form, but you don't love the people closest to you? You ignore the people closest to you. It took me years to figure that out, and I'm still understanding that deeper, right? Oh, I'm an advanced yogi. I'm one with God. I'm one with all. There was a woman that I met in Maui. I was sharing her story about her partner who had been with her. They had been with each other for 5 years in Maui. And he was much older than her. And he was kind of like, you could say her mentor, her guide. I wouldn't say guru, and she wouldn't say guru, but he basically would, he considered himself a bhakti yogi, right? One who practices devotion with the beloved. I would disagree. I didn't see the energy. I didn't feel the energy of bhakti. Almost the opposite. Because he's in a partnership, and by her feedback and connecting with the energy, they're in a partnership together, and he wasn't loving and kind and sweet and devotional towards his partner, which, if you guys have taken alchemy, you realize you can experience oneness faster with a partner than without a partner. Think about that, right? So this gentleman wants to experience oneness with God, oneness with all, but he can't even activate his heart to be in love with the person who he's deeply connected to. And whenever she was going through pain or suffering or sorrow, rather than practicing patience, tolerance, kindness, and sweetness, he would basically say to her, "You're not, like, what's your problem? You're not these things. Connect to God like I'm connecting to God." It's true, right? She's not her emotional pains. She's one with God, one with all. But in that person's level of understanding and in that moment in time, the listening is not there. So what's the compassionate thing to do? Love the person, embrace the person, be kind, be gentle, be tolerant with the person there, be an example for the person of oneness and love, and then gradually pick them up. Versus you don't have your stuff together, focus on God. It's not very kind and compassionate, is it? So how can you say you love God who you cannot see, who has no form, and you can't love you, but you can't love the people closest to you who are in front of you who have form, right? Because the lower level of truth is we use God, we use symbols, right? Crosses, artifacts, statues, churches, paintings. We use something to focus our attention on God, an aspect of God, so we can transcend that object and go higher. But so that's the lower level of truth. But look at how the person shows up. If the person can't love those closest to them, they're not practicing the higher level of truth. They're still stuck at the lower level of truth. Make sense? So if you want to really experience oneness with God and oneness with all, you have to first activate the heart. When the heart becomes sufficiently activated, it activates the crown. And then to finish off our talk on service, as one of the master pranic healers said many years ago, one of my favorite things that he said, he says, once the crown is sufficiently activated, that was a key phrase. Once the crown is sufficiently activated, one no longer has a choice but to serve. So the masters in pranic healing, they can't bow out. Other advanced teachers around the planet from different religions and different schools cannot bow out. They're all in because they are experiencing oneness with God, oneness with all, and they experience the suffering of humanity. They can't bounce, right? For those of you who have children that are listening, if your child was suffering, would you be like, not my problem? That's your suffering. That's not my suffering. No, of course not. If your child is suffering, you're going to do everything in your power to alleviate their suffering through the different ways that we talked about being of service. So what if the world was your children? Better yet, what if the world was you? Think about it. Right? What if the world was you? So you're like, whoa, everything I'm doing to the other person, I'm doing to me, not from an intellectual viewpoint, but from an experiential understanding. Much different. So when your crown is sufficiently activated, you become an instrument. And you have no choice but to serve. Like saints don't need to have talks, myself included, right? Saints don't need to have talks of like, hey, you need to be of service, because they are born of service. They're like, yeah, I'm all in. What are we doing? Who are we helping? What needs to be written? What needs to be done? What service projects are we working on? What karma yoga? Let's do. Go, 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 go. Come on, come on, come on. Right? If you're ever around the masters, they're always go, go, going. You're like, you guys ever stop? I thought the Energizer Bunny had energy. You guys just never stop because they're constantly being pushed. They're being provided for and they're being pushed in that providing. Hopefully some of you caught that. Okay, so I hope that helps. I know we did a longer talk than usual, but so there's this weird thing of people having cars that are just one big speaker in Puerto Rico, or having these big trucks with a flatbed and having a giant speaker, and then they just drive around town playing the music so loud that that's not a form of service. Just to clarify, you'd have to scan it, find out if it annoys more people than it pleases people. That'd be an interesting thought experiment. So, as you guys know, we're going to do our meditation now. So, because we did a lot of talking, a lot of mental knowledge, there's a lot of downpour. I want you to do your physical exercises, right? Your physical exercises, super duper important. Move your physical body for 2 songs. So you just bust out a little speaker, listen to 2 songs, party, 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 and then come back. So I'll pause myself. And welcome back. Good. Hopefully you got your exercises on and you just didn't watch me for 10 seconds staring into the camera, right? Because you want to integrate as much energy. You want to empty the old wine bags to prepare for the new wine. Yes. Okay. So that's what physical exercise helps do. So now let's do our meditation practice. We'll do our breathing first. So sit comfortably. Be aware of the heart. Be aware of the crown. Feel the expansion of both chakras. Love of those closest to us, and then love of God, love of all. We're going to do 7-1-7-1 breathing. Inhale for a count of 7, hold for a count of 1, exhale for a count of 7, hold for a count of 1. In the nose, hold, out the nose, hold. Okay? Already getting blissed out. So I'll count for the group. For the first breath only, we're going to breathe out through the mouth. And begin. Inhale through the nose. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Exhale through the nose. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. Breathe normally. Be aware of the stillness within you. Be aware of the inner peace. Really be aware of the inner peace. Allow yourself to expand and allow yourself to experience inner peace. Let go of your resistance, your unconscious, conscious, and subconscious resistance. Let go. Be still. Be aware. Gently place your awareness in your crown. Mentally follow me. I am the soul affirmation by Grandmaster Choel Kuksui. I am the soul. I am not the body. I am not the emotions. I am not the thoughts. I am not the mind. The mind is just a subtle instrument of the soul. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am one with my higher soul. I am that I am. I am one with the divine spark within me. I am a child of God. I am connected to God. I am one with God. I am one with all. This is the truth, regardless of the brain's capacity to experience the truth. I am the soul. Be still, be aware. Gently raise your hands in blessing. Maintain your sense of stillness and awareness. Very important. Be aware of the heart, the hands, the earth. Be aware of pink, loving energy flowing out of your hands, going to the earth. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Shower the entire earth with peace, love, and forgiveness. See if you can feel these beautiful energies as I say them. Peace, love, and forgiveness. Mentally say, I forgive, and I ask for forgiveness. And I especially forgive myself of the recent past, of the distant past, of all time and space. I forgive, I forgive, I forgive, and I let go. Thank you. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is doubt, faith. Shower the entire earth, every person, every being, with hope and faith. See people having a better life, a life filled with contentment, happiness, joy, growth. See people overcoming any and all challenges in their life. See them being blessed with hope and faith. So be it. So be it. So be it. Thank you. And where there is darkness, light, sadness, joy. As you're looking at the earth in front of you, with your heart activated, your palms activated, see if you can be aware of any dark spots, heavy spots, any spots on the planet that are lacking light. And just lovingly send energies of light and joy to these areas. It could be towns, villages, cities, states, entire countries that need light and joy. And see the entire planet illuminated, very, very bright, super, super, super bright now. And be aware of your crown, be aware of your hands, be aware of the planet. Oh, Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, and to be loved as to love. Shower the earth with consoling energies, energies of service. See people serving others, healing others, nurturing others, being of service to others. See people taking their attention off of themselves and placing it onto others. Not from guilt, not from shame, not from obligation, but from the point of view of service, for the heart to serve, for the experience of oneness with God and oneness with all. See yourself being an instrument of goodwill and the will to do good. So be it. So be it, so be it, so be it. Beautiful. Now be aware of your heart and your crown together. Be aware of the planet Earth, all sentient beings, and be aware of golden, sparkling energies pouring out of your hands, like a rainbow of golden light pouring out of your hands, going to the planet Earth, filling up the earth. For us in the giving that we receive, it is in the parting that we are pardoned. It is in the dying that we are born to eternal life. So it's in the giving that we receive. So if we want to be taken care of, we must first take care of others. We must plant the seed in order to reap the harvest. We must put the firewood in before we can have heat. You must first give before you receive. So see yourself giving virtue, giving prosperity, giving time. So be it. So be it. So it is. Beware the heart, crown, the hands, the earth. Amen. Saint Francis of Assisi. Gently lower your hands in your lap, palms facing up. Beware the heart. Inhale. Beware of 12 inches above your crown. Exhale and stay there. Beware the beautiful loving energies above the crown. Beware of the light. Beware of the love. And allow yourself to expand. Beware the light. Beware the love. And let go. Whoa. Be still. Be aware. Let go. Now. slowly and gently come back. Move your hands, your fingers, your feet, your toes, your hands, your fingers, your feet, your toes, your hands, your fingers, your feet, your toes. Slowly come back to your body now. Especially move your feet and your toes. Curl your toes, curl your toes, curl your toes. Come back, come back, come back. Let's raise our hands in blessing. Be aware of the heart, the crown, the hands, and the earth. The heart, the crown, the hands, and the earth. Let's release all the excess energies. With the blessings of God, the blessings of Grandmaster Cho Koksui, let the entire earth, every person, every being be blessed with divine light, divine love, divine power, with soothing, healing energies. Now, so be it. Let every person, every being be healed, be transformed, be beautified. So be it. Blessings be to all, healings be to all without exception. So be it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it. With the blessings of God and Grandmaster Cho Koksui, let Pranic healing, Arhatic yoga, the Twin Hearts meditation, and higher teachings spread properly, rapidly, enthusiastically throughout the entire planet to alleviate the suffering of mankind. So be it. So be it. So be it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's bless this week for all of us. As I say, so be it, say, so be it after me to anchor the energies. Beware the heart, the crown, the hands, and the day of the week. With the blessings of God and Grandmaster Cho Koksui, let this coming Friday, this Friday's full moon meditation, full moon day, be blessed with divine light, divine love, divine power. Be blessed with happiness and joy and fulfillment. Let Friday be blessed, so be it. Let this coming Saturday be blessed with divine light, divine love, divine power. Let us properly and rapidly learn our spiritual and material lessons. Let Saturday be blessed, so be it. Let this coming Sunday be blessed with divine light, love, and power. With happiness and joy of a successful following week, let Sunday be blessed, so be it. Let this coming Monday be blessed with divine light, love, and power. With emotional calmness and stability, let Monday be blessed, so be it. Let this coming Tuesday be blessed with divine light, love, and power, with physical strength and vitality. Let Tuesday be blessed, so be it. Let this coming Wednesday be blessed with divine light, divine love, divine power, with proper and effective communication among all people. Let Wednesday be blessed, so be it. Let this coming Thursday be blessed with divine light, love, and power, with material and financial abundance, prosperity, and great, great success in all that we do. Let Thursday be blessed, so be it. Let the entire next 7 days be flooded and filled with lots and lots of light, lots and lots of love, lots and lots of power to get things done, to materialize goodwill and the will to do good in the planet. Let all of our environments be filled with gold, our homes, our office, our travels. Let all the people we interact with be flooded and filled with gold now, so be it. We ourselves are filled and flooded with gold now, so be it. We're swimming in an infinite ocean of light, golden energies now, so be it, so be it, so be it. See a person in front of you you've been having difficult times with or challenges with, and bless them. It's much, much easier to bless people after the heart is expanded, after the crown is expanded. Make it easy on yourself. Activate the heart and the crown, and it's easy to forgive. It's easy to bless. It's easy to let go. It's easy to move forward. So see the person in front of you and see them living a good life, a happy life, a fulfilling life. See them experiencing the bliss you're experiencing, and then some, many, many, many times over. So be it. So be it. So be it. Place your hands down towards the ground. Be aware of the base of the spine and the soles of your feet. Imagine roots of gold and light going deep, 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 deep into the earth, grounding you, rooting you, connecting you to Mother Earth. Mentally affirm, my system is rooted to Mother Earth. Let Mother Earth be blessed with good air, good water, good earth, and good people. Let Mother Earth be blessed. Let Mother Earth be healed. Let Mother Earth be rejuvenated, regenerated, and revitalized. Now, so be it, so be it, so be it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Place your hands on your heart. Be aware of your heart. Be aware of your crown. Be aware of them together. To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to respected and beloved teacher, Grandmaster Cho Koksui, Lord Mahaguru Jamiling, to Lord Buddha Kuan Yin, to Lord Ganesh, to Holy Master Count Saint Germain, To all the holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, healing ministers, to our divine selves or higher souls, we thank you, thank you, thank you all for your great, great blessings, for your soothing, healing energies now. Thank you for transforming us into better people and to better souls. We thank you with gratitude, respect, and love. So be it, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And slowly come back. Whew. Welcome back. The full moon energies are upon us. Remember, the energies of the full moon are strong 2 days before, strongest at the peak of the full moon, and then 2 days after the full moon. Also, the new moon is another good time for blessing, doing your spiritual practices, materialization, because there's more energy available. So you have 2 very powerful days of the month that there's lots and lots of energy available. Okay. So again, because we do a lecture, we do a powerful meditation, and we do healing, it's advisable to do lots of physical exercises. For the Arhatic yoga practitioners, make sure you store the energies, even if it's after just twin hearts, quote unquote. So store the energies. Then you do your physical exercises. You can do the pre-meditation exercises and turn them into post-meditation exercises. You can also do 108 jumping jacks, 12 twisty turnies. You can also do the Tibetans. I would recommend at least 7 repetitions of each of the 4 Tibetans. Remember, there's 5 Tibetan rites. You skip the first one, the rotating one, if you've already done meditation. Okay. And we've already done meditation, so you don't need to do that one. Okay. And that is it, guys. So enjoy the rest of your day, your week, your life. Make it a great life. Make it an exciting life. You're here to have experiences and learn lessons and grow and evolve. And as Master Chola Koksui says, you don't become a saint by not living life. So get out there, mix it up, learn things. Don't maliciously hurt people and maliciously make mistakes or intentionally make mistakes, but go, hey, this is something I want to experiment with. This is something I want to practice. This is something I want to get feedback on. And I'm going to study the matter thoroughly, make my decision to do. I'm going to do it and then get feedback and then go, that was a good experience. Time and energy well invested. That was a bad experience, but this is what I learned from it, and you move forward. Okay. So this is Christian Long, life enhancement consultant, wishing you a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Atma, namaste. Bye-bye, everyone.